Are all those hours slogging it out at the gym pointless? Apparently, according to one study that was carried out by the Hadza tribe in Tanzania, who do tons of exercise all day, they only burn slightly more calories than an American at their desk in a sedentary job. So are you better off just dieting, or maybe even relying solely on weight loss drugs rather than exercise? Well, I'm going to get into it in this video. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal, and this channel is all about helping you, if you're a woman over 40 or like me, over 50, get in incredible shape. You can see in the backdrop here, I am here in Thailand in this beautiful villa. And one of the things that I like to do when I go away is understand exactly how I can get and keep in shape. And I've actually transformed my body. So when I was in my 40s, I kind of went from my late 40s into my mid 50s, going from fat to fit. So I know absolutely what works. And I'm going to talk about that study because it was absolutely right. So let's get into the study first. Herman Ponza was a guy who actually carried out a study on the Hadza tribe in Tanzania, and he picked them because they are really active through the day, because they have a very traditional lifestyle. They don't use modern technology, so they're walking, lifting, carrying, jogging even, all through the day, and they're burning thousands of calories. So he compared them with Americans with very sedentary lifestyles, and also he then, with his findings, went on to study people that do things like ultra marathons and marathons, because they're also very active. And what he found was there wasn't a massive difference in calorie burn or weight loss really between those that are being massively active and those who are barely being active at all, which is really surprising, isn't it? And it flies in the face of everything that we know, that we're sort of taught to understand about exercise. So I'm just going to read something from what Ponza said about the study. He said, "We've studied people who are extremely active, including marathon runners crossing the US, and those who are very sedentary, and it turns out that they burn about the same number of calories." So that kind of helps us understand why we don't lose a significant amount of weight when we're just exercising alone. So what's the truth of it? Well, I agree, exercise alone doesn't actually work. Why do I know this? Well, I knew it before I'd read about the Ponza study, because when you see people in the gym, they're going in week after week, month after month, year after year even, and some of them are even seeing personal trainers. And have you noticed their body shape never changes? They just stay the same. So that's the one reason why I know with my own body, I can be on exactly the same exercise regimen and I can gain weight. A couple of times I've done this where I've actually deliberately gone into a calorie surplus to try and put on muscle in order to get some improvement for my next bodybuilding show. And that's like quite a common technique that bodybuilders use. The other thing that's happened is I've actually unintentionally gained weight when I just haven't been paying attention to nutrition. So we know that, don't we, with our own experience. Exercise alone just doesn't work, and there's been numerous studies carried out on this, not only this study. What it led me to think about and really understand is, why do I get results when I compete in bodybuilding shows? How do I get results? Because I am exercising a lot, but yes, I am changing my nutrition, but there's certain rules that apply and certain tactics, really kind of key tactics, key hacks, if you like, that we use in bodybuilding shows that absolutely work. And when you think about the Hadza tribe and that specific study, you see why this would work. I actually think the bodybuilding community knew about this long before that 2012 study, because they've been employing these techniques for like decades, really, decades they've been employing these techniques, and they really work. So if you incorporate these hacks or tricks, you can guarantee that it's actually going to work, that your exercise will actually get you results. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is nutrition. So yes, of course, you need to be in what's called a calorie deficit. So that's like burning more calories than you are consuming, but you also need to be taking your protein high, because taking your protein high, and this is what bodybuilders do, is actually going to improve your metabolism. It's going to help you build and retain muscle even though you're in a calorie deficit. Secondly, what do we do when we're getting ready for a show? We actually lift weights. We lift weights 4, maybe 5 times a week, because lifting weights is actually going to build and retain muscle, and that's going to improve your metabolism. Thirdly, when we're actually incorporating cardio, when we're getting ready for a show, we're really careful. We don't start off with tons of cardio, say 45 minutes or an hour when we're starting our prep, which is normally 16, 12 weeks out, maybe 20 weeks out for somebody who's older, where fat loss takes longer. But we're going to start off with small amounts of cardio of 15, 20 minutes. That's intense cardio. And then what we do is we get our step count up as well. Maybe doing 7 to 10,000 steps and gradually increasing those over time. But what we do is we increase our cardio every 2 to 3 weeks by sort of things like 5 minutes, or we increase the intensity of the cardio. So maybe it's, we've been walking and we put it on an incline, or we add a weighted vest. Because every time you start putting cardio in, your body's going to get used to it and it will adapt, and then it's not going to burn calories anymore. And that's what they found with the Hadza tribe. So what about weight loss drugs? Because they work, don't they? Well, here's the honest truth. Yes, weight loss drugs work for losing weight. So you've got your Mounjaro, you've got your Wegovy. People normally find they get really successful with losing weight, but it isn't going to necessarily help you lose fat, and I'm going to go into it. The reason these weight loss drugs work is because you're literally restricting your food intake. And as we've discovered with the Hadza tribe, restricting your food is more important than your activity levels. However, there's a huge difference between fat loss and weight loss. And what you're going to find with really restricting your diet, it might not even be weight loss drugs, it could be going on an extreme diet of some sort, is you're going to get really great weight loss. But what that means is you're going to lose water, you're going to lose muscle. And when you reach over the age of 40, you can't afford to lose muscle, and it's going to kill your metabolism. You're going to get that skinny fat, you're going to get loose flesh or loose skin. You're going to retain belly fat, because losing weight doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go from all the right places, which is what I found. But if you lose fat, you're going to retain muscle. You're going to lose belly fat. You're going to get a nice defined shape with less loose skin. Your metabolism is going to speed up. So there is every reason to lose fat and not worry about the scale. So should you quit exercise? Well, absolutely not, because exercise is overall great for your longevity, for your health, for improving health markers like your heart health. Even your blood sugar levels are going to be improved with exercise, and things like your blood pressure, of course, is going to be improved with exercise. So you want to be incorporating exercise, and you want to be focusing on lifting weights, because that's going to enable you to achieve fat loss rather than weight loss. And as we found out with the bodybuilding community, is actually going to improve your metabolism by lifting weights. Of course, you need to do cardio, but you need to exercise caution, just like we do in the bodybuilding community. So walking is absolutely fantastic, because walking really helps with being able to build and maintain muscle all at the same time. So it really complements strength training. But when you're doing intense cardio, exercise caution. So that's why I love to do things like high intensity interval training in short bursts of intense workouts, because that actually supports your strength, your muscle strength, and you're not doing tons of it, so you can still build and retain muscle if you're, say, doing 20-minute sessions of high intensity interval training. But what you want to do when you're incorporating cardio is start off with small amounts, so it might be 15 or 20 minutes, and then add 5 minutes every 2 to 3 weeks, which, as we've discovered in the bodybuilding community, that's what we do when we're leading up to a show, and so it keeps our body guessing. So what about diet? Well, rather than relying on something like weight loss drugs, I believe if you get your nutrition right, it's actually going to make you feel full and satisfied and less likely to snack. And that was what I found with women on my 8-week transformation challenge. They actually messaged me saying, Melissa, I cannot eat all this food. And even though the food is restricted, it actually still results in fat loss. So what does the eating involve? Well, you want to be doing high protein eating. So that's 1 gram of protein per pound in body weight. Because then what that's going to do is going to help you build and retain muscle. It's actually going to boost your metabolism by eating high protein, because it takes your body longer to burn protein off or break down protein than it does carbohydrates and fats. So you're going to be burning calories just while you're eating if you're eating protein. And the key thing is, it's going to keep you satisfied, it's going to keep you satiated. So it's like nature's Ozempic. You're going to feel fuller for longer, and you're less likely to snack and, you know, crave those sugar cravings or carbohydrate cravings, because protein keeps you satisfied. If you're ready to incorporate the right balance of nutrition and exercise, exactly how I described, do sign up for my next 8-week transformation challenge, because you can bag yourself a whopping $20,000 and bag yourself a banging new body. And by the way, there's actually prizes of $2,000 every 30 days as well. I've now helped over 10,000 women transform their bodies. So this stuff is tried and tested, and it really works. So you do have to trust the process, but I promise you it works. And if after 14 days of trying it, you're not satisfied, you can always request your money back as well. So you can try it out free for 14 days. So click the link in the description to sign up today. If it's not going on at the time that you're watching this video, then you can always leave your email address and I'll email you with the details when it goes live.